Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Good afternoon. Now, let's get into this. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about the SCP Foundation. The SCP Foundation is the subject for the movie me and my friends are trying to fund using this channel. And so I wanted to tell all of our viewers about what the SCP Foundation is about. And basically, the SCP Foundation is a fictional, or maybe not so fictional, foundation where they use their motto, secure, contain, and protect, to protect the world from anomalies, basically. So, you might have seen media about this giant, indestructible, zombie-like lizard, or this plague doctor that sees an invisible pestilence and cures people by turning them into zombies. Or maybe a statue that looks like a peanut. Now, those are all anomalies from the SCP Foundation. Now, I'm going to be explaining what all of those anomalies do and what our movie is going to try to be about with the SCP Foundation. So, number one is one of the most popular SCPs and one of the main SCPs in our movie, and that is SCP-049, aka the Plague Doctor. Now, the Plague Doctor is, a plague doctor. He looks kind of like a old French, Black Plague doctor. He has the entire suit, the top hat, but the thing with this doctor is that he is kind of docile most of the time, but when he wants to be, he could break out of containment at any time and destroy, he could kill a lot of people. And basically, if he notices that somebody has the pestilence, as he calls it, then he will try to cure them. And by cure them, he means touch them, the patient, I guess, would drop to the floor, and then a couple hours later they would wake back up, but they wouldn't be themselves. They'd basically be like a zombie, and they'd be very hostile. And the pestilence that the Plague Doctor sees is not exactly, it's not exactly in existence. Nobody in the SCP Foundation or otherwise knows of this pestilence and thinks that it is real. So, that is the Plague Doctor. And now moving on to number two. Number two is I'm going in most popular order, by the way. So number two is SCP-035, aka the Possessive Mask. Now, the Possessive Mask is a Greek comedy mask that sometimes changes to a Greek tragedy mask. And this is a very powerful SCP. And I don't know all the containment classes like Cater and Euclid. I don't know exactly what all those mean. But the mask is Cater class, meaning it is very hard to contain. And it's very hostile. The mask itself is sentient. So, whenever you get near the mask, you feel the urge to put it on. And if somebody does put it on, then the mask attaches to them and it attaches to their brain and body, causing the wearer of the mask to lose all control of their body, and the mask would speak through them and use them basically as a vessel. And so it's basically any humanoid object or entity. So if a dead body were to be possessed by the mask, then the dead body would come back to life. If a mannequin was to be possessed by the mask, then the mask would use that. But there is a catch. Slowly, the vessel will decay no matter what material it's made out of. Like a body would begin to decay, becoming a desecrated, blackened skeleton at the end, and the mask would no longer be able to control that body. And like a mannequin, it would start to crumble and become inert. And basically, the reason that a mask is so hard to contain is because the massive amount of telepathic power that it has over people. And that means that, like, say you're like the guards guarding the guards like guarding SCP-035 would sometimes experience like swells of anger or sadness, just like big emotional swings, and that would trigger trigger the mask to possess them or cause like riots and stuff. So it has like a lot of telepathic power over people no matter what. Now, it also has an ability to cry a black acidic substance that, upon closer inspection, is very diluted human blood. And it's very acidic, like to the point where it's like highly corrosive. So it would like melt the walls of its cell, and it would like begin to destroy the door, allowing people to go in and put it on. But also, it has the insane ability to make appendages come out of that corrosive blood. And by appendages, I mean arms that would go grab onto scientists and researchers and guards and mobile task force members, and they would just go and die in the puddles of bloody acid. And so that is SCP-035. I'm going to be explaining 2 more SCPs, and these are going to be shorter because they're like less popular, but they're also less of a hassle to explain. And this is mostly popularity within our friend group. And so the next one is SCP-682. And SCP-682 is a indestructible, well, I guess it's not indestructible, it's just highly adaptive and highly regenerative. It's just a crazy, highly regenerative and highly adaptive lizard. So it has the ability to like regenerate, even out of a single atom of its body. Because, so, the lizard, like if you would just like shoot a regular pistol at it, then the bullets would most likely bounce off of it. And then the lizard would retaliate by shooting bullets at you out of its mouth. Because the lizard is, most of the time, it's able to adapt to the environments and the I guess troubles that it goes through. So shooting bullets at it would make it most likely shoot bullets at you. And trying to shoot a tank missile at it, it would then shoot a tank missile at you. And it's also very hard to destroy because it is highly regenerative. I think is what it is. Yeah, it's basically like a Deadpool lizard. And so the SCP Foundation tried to terminate it multiple times by putting it in this deatomizer where it would basically dissolve into just nothing. There would be a couple of atoms left though. And then an hour later after doing the test, while the scientists were celebrating, SCP-682 killed all of them because he came back to life out of the 3 atoms that he had left. And he was completely immune to the SCP that they had used to deatomize him. And there have been ways that the SCP Foundation have found to sedate the creature. By sedate, they mean use SCP-999, aka the Tickle Monster, to make SCP-682 happy and docile. They also used SCP-035, the little girl, which is pretty powerful but doesn't mean to be. They used her to befriend 682 because 035, if any physical harm comes to her, the entity that caused her physical harm will experience intense migraines and then death. And so 682 is not dumb. It's quite smart. It can talk, actually. And so it did not attack the little girl. Instead, it befriended her. And so that was the way to, kind of sedate the creature. The final SCP is SCP-096, aka the Shy Guy, which is another dangerous SCP, and it can be summed up in a couple of sentences. The couple of sentences is, I think it's a Kidder class SCP. It's a Euclid class SCP that basically if any human looks at its face, it goes into a fit of crying, and immediately after goes into a rampage, destroying anything in its path to get to the person who saw its face, and then it will proceed to kill the person who saw its face. If any other entities see its face on the way, then it is also going to attack them. And so you can also view it on a photograph or television or video, and it will show, it will still attack, basically. So even if you view it in a photograph, even a couple of pixels, then it will still attack you. And they found out one way to see what its face looked like. And that was to draw it. Because an artistic representation of the creature will not affect the creature. It will do absolutely nothing. That's how they were able to find out that it is a giant, skinny, pale humanoid with a giant, unhinging mouth with sharp teeth and lifeless white eyes. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video on SCPs, and please let us know if you want more videos like this. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.